It's called waiting. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Do 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 walking in circles, feeding all the birds, climbing up a mountain, looking around, yeah, yeah, smelling all the flowers, staring at the moon. I listen to the waves come crashing down, down, whoa, whoa. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Smelling all the flowers, staring at the moon. Listen to the waves come crashing down, down. Walking in circles, feeding all the birds, climbing up a mountain, looking around. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Gotta tune in to what the angels say. I'm waiting on the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Do 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 ba do ba do 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 do. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on on the will of heaven today. Keep going, or just want to wrap up, get this Astro Doodle out there for you. To take care of a small chore here. How am I going to do this? You know what? I've got an idea. I need a couple minutes. I'm sorry, I should have taken care of this before I started the show, but I get to get some treats sorted out for the little Bubba monster. Okay, so I'll be back in just a little bit. Thank you very much. Just chat amongst yourselves, okay? Sorry about that. now, sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word, say the word, praise the word, feel the word, love the word, live the word, vibrate the word, shake the word, hum the word, breathe the word, whisper the word, sign the word, love the word. Sing it now, sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word, say the word, praise the word, feel the word, love the word, live the word, vibrate the word, shake the word, hum the word, breathe the word, whisper the word, sign the word, love the word. Sing it now. Oh, 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 sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word, say the word, praise the word, feel the word, love the word, live the word, vibrate the word, shake the word, hug the word, breathe the word, whisper the word, sign the word, love the word. Sing it now. Oh, 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 Thank you for your patience, everybody. I'll put this back in a minute. Okay, so here we are. Let me just check in with all of you. Hi. Okie dokie. Greetings, it's Lumination. It's Sunday. It is the, let's see, the 2nd of April here in America. It's already the 3rd over there in Australia, New Zealand, Japan. Sorry, it's allergies. It's not from these plants, it's from all the dust and stuff. Anyway, if I sound a bit weird and congested, it's because of allergies. I've taken my medications, and we just have to hope for the best. Okie dokie. So, there's quite an active chat there going on with Tina. It's probably about the property issues, and so on and so on. It looks like it's all still up in the air. Okay. Okay. All right. Good enough. Okay. Good evening and welcome. So I got a little bit feisty over the last few days, and I started posting a little bit more on my Twitter and my Truth Social and my Rumble. And I don't know why I struggle so much with those things. It's the technology. Sometimes it goes well. Sometimes it's really hard to record and load all these things the way I do that, because maybe I'm just not smart enough. But anyway, I did what I could, and I want to just indulge a little bit in that, so I'm going to go to the stage over here and share a little bit of that. It's funny because, like, typically when I make videos, it's gone, it's disappeared, it's vaporized. I don't remember anything. I don't store anything up in my head. I might have vague memories and things. But the couple of things I wanted to point out that were building up for quite a while. Saturn in Pisces, of course, we talked about that a lot. In fact, we should still mark that. It's still a very big, significant stressor here on the cusp. Same thing with Pluto over here on the cusp. It's still a very big stress factor for the whole world. And in my observation, the way it's playing out is that things came to a certain culmination on the Aquarius-Leo axis, 0 degrees, very recently, with a very famous fellow, initials DT, when some really bizarre events started to happen that put DT back in the spotlight again as his enemies tried to take him down again and again and again. The reason I'm saying the Pluto axis, 0 degrees, and the moon was there in Leo when it actually came to full news headlines and culmination is because this axis here, Aquarius Leo, is very, very important for the American astrology. Now, it wasn't born with the 0 degrees, but the fact that it was we just had the 0 degree mark means that it's like somebody flicked the lights on in the room when it comes to the energies described here. And in the United States, the Aquarius theme is very much to do with the South Node and the North Node in Leo. So to me, it was all lit up. And DT has very powerful elements in Leo. And he is essentially destined and born to be the character that we see today. He's a larger-than-life character. He has Mars conjunct Pluto in Leo in a very powerful angle. So he's a very fierce fighter, warrior, defender of the kingdom, so to speak. Now, he doesn't carry himself as a king. He's basically one of the people. But he is acting as a defender, almost a martyr for we the people, to take us away from the obsolete, redundant Aquarian South Node themes that are very active in America right now. Some of the biggest, most obvious examples is the outrageous spending, giving away of American dollars overseas, inflating our currency, causing inflation in our country, under the guise of trying to save and rescue all the other people on the planet who deserve and want to be rescued and saved by America. It's actually a black hole for America. That behavior is redundant. And Donald is doing something, representing something that a lot of people don't like or want. He's representing what amounts to being symbolic of every single individual in America being their own unique individual sovereign self and taking care of ourselves and minding our own business and forget about trying to colonize the rest of the world, perpetuating the American empire, spreading a United States federal dollar hegemony across the world. He is dead against all of that. And all of that stuff resonates deep over here in the Aquarian South Node of the United States. And the way I see it, it's redundant. The journey forward is to, it's almost like, I can't remember the exact donation. I saw something on the screen there from Tina. Yeah, I got it. Thank you, Tina. Let me grab that while I can. Before I lose my train of thought here, I'm talking about, okay, hold on. Living by example. And whether you're, I don't know if you're a fan or not, but I'm not, please don't think of this as whether he's a good or bad person or anything like that, or whether you hate him or his politics or anything. It's just a very, very important subject matter for the whole world right now. His behavior, his actions, the events that swirl around DT have global impact. And it's because this fellow DT represents we the people, the embodiment of we the people. He has a very powerful Uranian theme, which resonates with the Aquarian vibes of we the people, the community, not communism, the community. And the idea is to live by example, so that, he's not saying that, oh, well, everybody needs to be a billionaire or you can't be happy. Everyone needs to be quite physically oversized with a very, very large presence wherever you go. It's not about that. It's about honoring and living up to your pure sovereign self. Chiron is in Aries right now, okay? That's where there's a lot of pain for everybody across the world, because everybody's realizing, wow, I'm so far removed from my sovereign self. I have unwittingly allowed myself, me, as an example of we the people, to become subverted, undermined, perverted, destroyed, trapped in a tyrannical, invisible net. That's not good for the individual. So, literally, DT is fighting for himself. And that's like a form of living by example. Anyway, it's become a very big issue across the world right now. We're living in a historical moment in terms of astrology. I mean, it's just another day, obviously, but in terms of global astrology, because of these particular concepts right here, and the way it's all playing out with the United States relative to the rest of the world, this is historical. This is going to go down in the history books, okay? Especially the little incident that's happening right now. It's a really trivial, bizarre, pathetic incident that's happening. It's a legal matter, and they're taking DT into a court in New York to try and stain him. Of course, the objective is to try and trip him up, undermine him, get him to, walk away, just give up this, notion of, the MAGA movement and things like that, and just let America get on with things so that the hyper-Marxist left-wing agenda can take over and get done what they want to do, okay? And Donald DT is not up for it. And there's a lot of people in the world who are also not up for it. So anyway, there's this big it's like a fight, okay? And it's like live theater. It's happening. It's going to be reaching a kind of a crescendo here at the full moon in a couple of days, okay? Just heads up, that's why I marked the moon here. This was a very, very critical day for the world, for America. We're going through the Virgo moon right now, and it's going to culminate in the full moon, and that's going to be early next week, and that's when the full, let's say, understanding of what's going on with the DT indictment is going to be brought to the world, because DT is going to be giving a speech, and there are going to be hundreds of millions of people watching that speech on Tuesday night in America, okay? Hello, Elizabeth Babcock. Good evening. So anyway, I know where I stand on these things, but I just wanted to tell that particular story because from my perspective, this is history. We are witnessing big history in real time. Of course, a lot of people aren't interested. I understand that. I get it. It's just like, what's it all about? America's just going to keep chugging along, okay? Please understand, we've got some major eclipses coming up, okay? We got a really strange one. 20th of April. It's brief, but it's there. And it's the new moon eclipse, sun in Aries, moon in Aries, 29.5 degrees, okay? And then within hours, we flip out of the Aries energy into the Taurus energy. So the Aries energy here, I believe it's going to really accentuate the Aries energy that we're dealing with right now, especially the Chiron element, the wounded healer, where a lot of people in the world are going to realize, wait a minute, I'm just to be honest, I'm hurting. You know? They don't like to admit it, but a lot of people are hurting, okay? Millions, actually billions, okay? And like enough is enough. If you've seen some of the material that I've seen, tracked some of the news and sources that I've seen, it's shocking. It's absolutely terrifying, okay? So anyway, the second eclipse, I mean, you might as well mark your calendars now. I'm already well ahead of this. Mark them now. 5th of May, Sun in Taurus, Moon in Scorpio, 14 degrees, maximum power, right on the global money axis. That means the United States Federal Reserve banking system, okay? And how that impacts the rest of the world. And you might have noticed that there's a lot of kerfuffle going across the world right now in terms of global finance. Well, guess what? It's highly predictable. And with eclipses, you know what that means. Something is eclipsed, removed, set aside, while the new emerges, and there's no going back. Eclipses are evolutionary gateways. I've talked about it many, many times. We're going through a major global evolutionary gateway here because it comes down to money. Money for the whole world. What is money? Money's a belief system, okay? What do you believe money to be? Anyway, it's going to be a major topic over the next couple of years, okay? The Taurus-Scorpio nodal axis is going to fade fairly soon, but the financial axis, we're going to see the ripple effects for a long time to come. So prepare yourself now. Get your finances in order. Start to prepare, because there's some potentially very bumpy stuff coming up for the rest of the world and America. A lot of people, again, they won't know, they won't care. Money, money, money in a rich man's world. Wow, yeah, of course, yeah. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I'm going to put this aside right now and check in with you guys. Hang out a little bit. Where are we? Got that over here. Give me a second. I'll be right there. Yeah, there we go. So I feel like I have a very puffy face at the moment. My friends in New Zealand are very sad because they've lost one of their beautiful goats. They have goats, and one of them became old and goats don't really live that long. And anyway, she was euthanized. There were 3 goats: Esmeralda, Capricorn, and Guinevere. Esmeralda and Capricorn have already passed away, and Guinevere was the last remaining goat, and she passed away yesterday. And for some reason it really affects me, and that's the end of that. Okay, we all move on. Anyway, all the pasture land that they used to occupy, and where they had a very beautiful, joyful life, just like this beautiful land here in New Zealand, it's going to be reworked into a very active herb garden and fruits and vegetable garden. Okay, so let's talk about abundance. Okay. Anyway, so out of the sad comes the happy. Okay. Guinevere is gone, and the land is very fertile, and new and beautiful things will happen. Well, Elizabeth Babcock, that may be true. I seem to have fairly strong connections with animals, and it happens randomly. Anyway, did I mention something about the remote viewing contest? Love Triber entered a remote viewing contest, and she asked me if I sensed anything, and so I gave her my impressions. I don't know if it's going to be even close, but Love Triber is paying attention. And the thing is, the remote viewing contest is hosted by a professional remote viewer, and the prize, guess what the prize is? $1,000 of crypto money. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised at the animals. There are 2 little ghost animals, actually 3 that live in this house here, but they mostly, I've never seen them anywhere else except my studio area. One of the animals is a pit bull baby, young, and the other animal is a older but very small female chihuahua, and the other animal is some sort of like domesticated little greenish wild parrot. It's actually a pet parrot. And every now and again I see them here, and I know that Boo Boo, the big cat, has encounters every few days. You can just see that he sees these ghosts, and he chases after them, and they kind of like to tease him, and he plays with them. It's quite amusing. Okay. I've had talking about animals and ghosts of animals. I've had a beautiful pig, a porky pig, visit me in the kitchen, but that was about a year ago. It was only like 2 or 3 times in a short period of time, like over a couple of days, but that was about it. I haven't seen him since. And I got this fuzzy image of a full-blown cow, and that was just the other day. But I didn't really take it too seriously because I didn't see a lot of definition. Sometimes when I get impressions, I don't know if necessary truth is here, but when you do a remote viewing or mediumship, or you have very powerful psychic clairvoyance, you can see down to the very details of the fabric of somebody's jacket or their shirt or their skin or their face, whatever it is. And I kind of don't take it seriously with these visions or clairvoyance or mediumship or sensing of auras and spirits until I get some pretty significant detail. And when I get the detail, I know I'm kind of in the zone. I am receiving. Okay? Elizabeth, I see my Chloe and feel her presence sometimes. She was my dog and other dogs too, and my cat. Okay. It's kind of cool, isn't it? I don't turn it into any kind of practice, but it gives me a very satisfying feeling. I get the same thing with my mom and dad. and occasionally a couple of my dear friends who've passed away. Yeah, anyway, yeah. Hello, T. Garnet. Hello, T. Garnet. Garnet is the name of a stone. Isn't a garnet the name of some kind of orangey, reddy colored stone? Or like a crystal or something? Uh-huh. Path Traveler TL, I remember when Maddie visited you. Oh, right, yeah. And T. Garnet is a dog groomer. Oh, no. Oh, how funny. There's one dog that I know quite well in New Zealand, and her name is Starla. And she's kind of a farm dog. She's quite feisty, medium-sized, but tough, okay? And we have connections now and again. She likes to sort of, the way she likes to hang out is very spontaneous. I'll be typically resting or having a nap, and then she will jump onto my chest and start to lick my face. And she gets very excited and wants me to come out and play and take her on road trips. That's what I used to do with her in New Zealand. She loved it. Okay. Oh, yes, Capricorn. Oh, it's a Capricorn stone. Hold on, I'm trying to catch up with the chat. Give me a second here. Trutha, hello, necessary Trutha. Oh, Garnet. So Garnet. I can't imagine. I would have to, go offline somewhere and actually start to look. I'm curious. See, Garnet is a groomer, pet groomer. Wow. I've spent a lot of time in the pet store recently, trying to upgrade nail clippers for the cats here. We've been trying like guillotine clippers and a special anti-quick of the nail protection clippers, and we're going around in circles, but eventually we're just going to replace the clippers with 2 brand new little baby clippers. Okay? Garnet. Is it red? Is it red or brown or something? Like a reddish brown gold? Sort of slightly transparent? I can't remember. Yes, necessary. That's New Zealand. That's a little patch of land in New Zealand where very close to where I used to hang out. Dark red. Okay. I don't do cats. The smaller size for cats. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. See, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, little cat nail clippers. All right, so good evening and welcome. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Give me a second. Cheers. It's funny. I don't know, some of you have been with the channel since the very beginning, especially Maria. Very, very, very beginning. But most of us go back for years now. Anyway, you might remember I was in kind of a miserable state towards the end of, during 2022 because my cancer returned. And I didn't know why I wasn't feeling very good. Anyway, the doctors noticed and they put me in like 3 months of radiation therapy. And I had to go on a really strict diet. And I lost a lot of weight, and I had a lot of side effects and everything, and I've come out all of that stuff since then, and all the cancer has been eradicated, removed. I'm on like a super advanced medications. You'd never know I had cancer. In fact, it's really not there anymore, but I have to stay on the medications to keep it away. Anyway, the reason I'm mentioning it is because what I've noticed is that it's been quite a long time now. It's like I came out when I had to start the extreme diet. It was in May, or I think it was May or June, to prepare like a few like weeks in advance for the radiation therapy. And so I had to cut out pretty much anything to do with sugar, anything to do with citrus. All alcohol had to stop. And so I did all that, and I changed my diet. And I don't know, it was a bit tricky because there are certain things that I like. One of them is citrus. I love oranges, orange juice. I like mandarins, all those citrus things, especially the orangey ones, and I even like the peel, okay, because it's incredibly concentrated with amazing, vitamins or something. Same thing with lemon peel. And so I can hardly touch I don't really touch orange juice anymore, hardly touch citrus. It makes me sad. I love citrus. I do like lots of other fruits, of course, but I have little amounts of citrus. And I had to cut down way on sugars, so it was kind of a double duty dose with alcohol, because alcohol is just a lot of sugars in alcohol. So a lot of the sugar consumption went from here to here, and then I had to start cutting back on my cookies and cakes and donuts and pies and things like that, which I love. I used to be a major carb addict, but anyway. And so I'm at this point where I've kind of slowly, very slowly harmonized, and this is my number one beverage now, just plain water. Sometimes I'll have a bit of ginger ale, but that has sugar. Sometimes I'll have a tiny bit of Coca-Cola, because that has caffeine, and the doctors want me to have caffeine. And sometimes I will have tiny sips of orange juice. And also I have these lovely herbal teas. They're very comforting. And that's just about it anymore. And so the way I convince myself that this is just great is because I've lived a splendid life. I've had a life of abundance, and I'm now reconfiguring my definition of abundance. In some ways, I am more abundant and healthier and happier than ever before. Okay? And you could say, here's the thing, like, I had wonderful romantic life. I had more girlfriends than you could count. I was spoiled rotten. I had different lifestyle package deals. An aspiring pop star, movie star, pop star, TVs, writer, artist, all sorts of things that a lot of people would dream to love to have to do. And I did all of it, and I was a spectacular failure at almost all of it. But at least I tried, and I was very happy while I was trying. So I don't have much to show for all of it, but I'm still here, and you can always reconfigure your definitions and concepts and understandings of happiness. So my happiness factor now is really pretty high. And for example, I still love beer, good wine, good whiskey. I love those things, but I don't touch them anymore. And I tell myself, well, I probably had more than I ever should in my whole life, enough to kill me 10 times over, because I liked my alcohol. Some of you know, back in the day, I liked to have my beverages live on my show, but that's all gone. And so you take those basic things, like I remember the doctors telling me very, very clearly, you need to stop alcohol. Sugars need to be cut down dramatically. Reduce the citrus. Get plenty of exercise. Get good sleep. Stay physical. Be with people that you love. Do what you love. Love what you do. All these classic formulas for happiness. And understand and accept your fear. All the scary things that go on right now, all the scary stuff that sometimes I talk about on the channel, all that doom and gloom stuff. There's plenty of doom and gloom videos around these days, but you don't don't overdo it because it'll make you sick. It really will make you sick. Okay? So, like reducing the alcohol, reducing the sugar, reducing the citruses, reducing all beverages, having a simpler, I would say, simpler diet with a lot of variety, but really, really good, healthy food, pretty much all of it home cooked from fresh or raw, okay? And then on top of that, the weird thing, which you wouldn't expect, somebody just mentioned it, Tina with the coffee, necessary with the salt. Well, here it is with me. I used to do decaf for a long time. But the doctors said, you're kind of unusual with your physique, your blood numbers, your anemia, your cancer. It's all kind of very, very strange. It doesn't make sense, like having really like good numbers for your heart and your blood pressure and pulse and everything like that. But it doesn't make sense. It's almost too good. So they actually said, we want you to start eating salt. More and more and more and more salt in your diet. Push it up as pretty much as hard as you dare. And also we want you to have caffeine. Caffeine in the morning. No later. Caffeine in the morning. And so I said, are you serious? And they said, yes. We want, this does sound strange, we want you to have more salt. We want you to have caffeine. And so I went, okay. And so I started on the regime. And this was, let's say, I guess early this year. Let's see, what are we now? We're just starting in April. January, February, March. So in January is late January is where I started on the extra salt and the caffeine. And I have to tell you, it's changed my life. The doctor said that you will feel stronger. You'll feel more energized. You won't, the anemia, because I have anemia because of the cancer medications, which means I have just enough red blood cells and all of that stuff to keep going. But I don't have what is a really healthy abundance of that stuff. So I have to compensate and do workarounds. And the workaround is to raise my blood pressure up to more normal, common levels, and to increase my metabolism. Because when I rest, my pulse and my blood pressure can go super, super, super low. Sort of like a super athlete, okay? And they said it's too much. So anyway, it's now plenty of salt and my McDonald's little cup of coffee in the morning. I get a little small cup of coffee and then I get a refill, which I drink about half of. And that's plenty for me. And it's changed my life. There we go. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. What do they call those Gatorade drinks where they have all those electrolytes? Yeah, electrolytes are good. I keep forgetting to take them, but they are good. I've got this box, like a couple of little sachets. It's like crystally powders. Throw them in a glass of water. It's fantastic. And they get you up with all your microscopic electrolytes that you have to have in your body. I can tell you what I've noticed is that having reached this new kind of health regime and a different type of equilibrium, I'm very much more acutely aware when my body gets dehydrated. So I drink water even when I'm not thirsty. I just drink it anyway to replace, because also this is a dry environment and you can lose a lot of moisture out of your body. So even as much water as I drink, sometimes I feel it is just not enough. And then you notice if you stop or if you forget to drink, let's say, a glass of water or two of these, you can feel the dehydration, and then you can actually feel the side effects of dehydration, which is not good. Okay? So, Maria, that's awesome. I've quit sugar and processed food. I can't do it, Maria. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I still have certain carbs. And those break down into sugar. I have certain very healthy breads, very dark brown grainy breads. But I also have certain white breads. That's an indulgence. And I have certain rich, like heavy grain pound cakes with zucchini and cranberries and walnuts and things like that. And I have to admit, I have cookies. That's very hard for me to stop. It's a real struggle. And so I buy a bag of pecan sandies. These, it's just basically a butter biscuit with little tiny bits of walnuts, pecans. And yeah, that's a carb. So it's basically flour, butter, sugar, pecans, and salt. That's it. And I need the fats. I need the oils. If you saw how much butter I eat and olive oil I eat, you'd think I'd be the size of a whale or dripping with lard. But I'm not. I'm skinnier now than ever before. My skin's falling off my body. I've lost a lot of muscle mass ever since the radiation treatment. Some of you might understand these things because a lot of us have been through some very challenging health issues on this channel. This is something that I have not been able to recover. I lost about 15 pounds during the radiation treatment, and that's gone. I would say I eat really well. I don't overeat. But that weight is not coming back, and you can kind of see it on my body. I'm really basically skinny. I used to have a little bit more mass and a bit more bulk, and I had that sort of softer, fuller look, but that's kind of gone. Elizabeth Babcock signing off. Okay. Have a super week, you too. Hope, Elizabeth, I haven't listened to that song yet. I got it, but I'm going to listen to it tomorrow, okay? Good night to you. All right. So we got 2 readings lined up. Thank you very, very much. I hope some of you saw the notes at the very beginning of this video in the chat. Please do not do super chat, okay? You're throwing your money down a black hole. I have demonetized my videos now. I don't care anymore. There's no point in trying to make even a penny off of YouTube. I used to pay my rent, eat my food, take my trips to New Zealand, travel around, have little day trips and vacations with all the revenue from my wonderful, beautiful YouTube channel. Well, that's now history, as some of you know. And so something else is going to happen, The universe will not tolerate a vacuum. Something comes in there. So we'll see how things go. I've become more active on Twitter and Truth Social and Rumble. I'm finding that Rumble is, in some ways, very simple, but I don't want to knock it because they are very friendly towards my content. So we're all going through big, big changes, and it's good that we have our little community here and that we can help and support each other as we all go through our different ups and downs, whether it's financial, spiritual, health, money, housing, location, career, jobs, politics, whatever it is, okay? Anyway, first up is Maria. All right, let's clear up things here. I'm going to put these away. All right, let's get that over. Stuff this over here. First up, Maria. Okay. And we're going to read Tina. We'll come back to Tina in a little bit. Alrighty, so what's going on, Maria? I don't remember seeing any notes, so I'm just going to go totally blind. Okay, Maria? Some of you know that Maria is over there in Arkansas, and I checked in. They had huge, devastating, deadly tornadoes, and it just whizzed right by Maria. So she's just fine. Open reading, you got it, Maria, no problem. So let's have a look here. No jumpers, no flyers, no, I'm not doing any oracles, no reversals. Cards are well shuffled from the last private reading we did, but we're doing this live now, and I want you to be a witness that you get your own shuffle. All right? Let's see what's going on. Let's bless this deck, bless every single card, bless the whole channel, bless all the multiple softwares that I have to do to broadcast. Bless YouTube. Let's bless the algorithm. Bless your enemies. Bless the ones you love. Let's bless all the cables, the electricity, the microphones, the computers, the monitors, the internet. It's mind-boggling how this all works. And by the way, have you heard one of the latest things from Elon Musk? Elon is sending a... Give me a second, Maria. I got to share this. I haven't done too much research on this one, but Elon is sending out huge warning signs regarding artificial intelligence. Some of you know there's this thing called ChatGPT, which is an extension of OpenAI company, which is an extension of Microsoft. So you can imagine that whole body of super brain power, computer power, and they created this ChatGPT, which has had a stunning, let's say, debut onto the world stage. And a love triber was telling me the other day, apparently, if I get the story right, she knows somebody whose son is going through university using ChatGPT to do everything. So in other words, you don't learn anything. All you have to do is learn how to title your papers or title your questions and come up with the right questions, and then it's all done for you. Bam. All you have to do is sign on the bottom. Kaboom. Anyway, there are competing AI services out there, and they're all looking to find dominance. And it's already becoming very disruptive in certain environments, like what Love Tribe was talking about with these kids at college. And they've discovered that because of the people who actually program and write the code and the software for this ChatGPT and the competitors, they tend to come from this, let's say, perspective that is very different to the, dare I say it, political perspectives that I have. Because some of you know that I lean towards what you could, some YouTubers do not like to declare. They like to say, oh, I'm just in the middle. I don't care if you're left or right. I don't care. I do care. I'm sorry. I lean very much towards Patriots, MAGA, Donald, that crowd, Constitution, restoration of this beautiful thing, America, that has become so depraved and corrupted. Okay? Now, I do have some views that some people would consider hardcore lefty, but I don't really focus on those much. That's kind of private and personal. Anyway, so what Elon was saying is that I think he's getting ready to buy into one of these big AI providers so that he can put the brakes on to stop this stuff, because you know, Elon is very, very advanced. He's got Mars and Aquarius in a very prominent part of his chart. And he's very futuristic, and he's already foreseeing massive disruptions in global economies because of AI. Okay? We're just getting a tiny glimpse right now, and he's terrified that this AI could propagate so big and so fast that it could create a lot of destruction in its pathway in terms of making human beings obsolete. Not just unemployed, but obsolete. Okay? TL, just say that your political party is the one that is for the people. Ah, that's a good way. Thank you, Pat. Okay? Necessary on your PayPal. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, that's it. No more readings tonight. I've got 3 lined up. So we got Tina. Let me make my post-it note for necessary, and we'll come to that later on. Let me get back to you, Maria. I just wanted to call that out about Elon and AI and stuff, because that's big. That's happening right now. Pluto's heading in Aquarius, so we're going to see massive disruptions all across the world when it comes to science, technology, innovation, what do they call it? Decentralized finance, network effects, digital ledger technology, the way that people interact and exchange value and information. It's going to be a massive upheaval, and it's going to displace some humans. Anyway, that's a scary story. Let's move on. Let's do something nice, okay? All right, so anyway, here we go. This is for... No more... Okay, that's... Okay, you got it. Thanks, Path. Give me a second. You're absolutely right. That's genius. Necessary truth. Okay. Okay, so we've got 3 bookings tonight. That's it. I'm going to put yours aside over here, but I'm going to also do what Pat suggested. No more readings. Okay. Alert, alert, alert. Stop now. Do not put any money in the super chat. Okay? Come and visit again, T. Garnett. I'll put it right here. Mr. Ross, good evening. I'll put it over here. Get it out of the side. But please, everybody for watching, do not put any money in super chat. Do not donate any more to my PayPal. I can only handle what I can handle tonight. So we've got Maria, then Tina, and then Necessary Truth. Okay? Good evening, Mr. Ross. Okay. Okay. I just got to check a couple things here. Make sure everything is stable with the all the softwares and everything, is that we can proceed. Okay. All right, I think we're good to go. I'll put this over here. I'm going to clickety-do. I'm just doing admin work in the moment just to keep the show going. All right, so, all right, we should be good. Now, another thing, here's another warning that I discovered recently regarding YouTube and the way it works. Number one, this show. When I shut down the broadcasting software over here, it's the end of my show because I've done everything. And then I shut down the transmission from here. And then that means the signal from here is no longer going to YouTube. And because there's like a 40-second delay, it takes a while for the show to shut down on YouTube. But what I've noticed is that from what I can tell, the YouTube software shuts down the show before the actual end of the transmission from here for some reason. I don't understand why. I don't understand the technology or anything, and I can see it visually. It looks to me like the show just cuts off like at the very last card of the last reading. There's no goodbye, no farewells, nothing. So I don't know how to get around that. I think what I'm going to do is, like when the show's over tonight, I am going to stop doing anything, and I'm going to wait for about 2 or 3 minutes before I shut down the transmission here, so that by the time it gets to you guys, if you were, for example, Necessary Truth would be the last reading for the evening, I don't want your reading to be cut off on the last card. Do you see where I'm coming from? So it might seem a bit weird the way I wrap up the show tonight, but I have to salvage the end of the show, and I can only think of one way to do it. Hello, Diana. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, Diana, we'll have to follow up. I got to get on with Maria's reading right now, okay? Thanks for coming in, Diana. No more readings tonight, folks. We're booked up. All right, Maria, let's have a look. What's going on? Cards are well shuffled. Let's go to the last second. Thanks for your kind donation, Maria. Thank you very, very much. Thank you all for indulging me and giving me a chance to voice myself this evening. It's been very emotionally, let's say, delicate for me recently, and it's been wonderful to just kind of vent and get it out. Okay, let's have a look here. All right, so here we go. Here's a situation. Here's some challenges, and here's how we're going to handle things, okay? Now we're going to look at external influences. A lot of you know that I almost always default to the planets, but sometimes the reading has a mind of its own, okay? Oh. Thank you, Pat. We are fully booked up tonight. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. What's that on one? Good song. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant idea. Thank you. So I'll play a song at the end. A long song. And if that gets cut short, fine. All right, so we got everything set to go here. We're going to look at external influences, and like I said, I often, almost always default to the planets. Okay. 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 So we've got the King of Swords here. My feeling is that this is not. Please don't take this one personally, okay, Maria? What I'm sensing here is that you might have some external influences that are probably in some ways not welcome, but it's stuff that can't be avoided, and it's to do with what I would say coming to terms with perhaps some harsh truths, harsh reality about your life and your world and the way you operate, the way that like your belief system, your perceptions of the world, your concepts of the world, like your value systems, like for example, the United States. Just bear with me, Maria. See if I can. I'm trying to clarify here. The United States. If you think of the United States, it has an astrology chart, just like a human being, and it has certain characteristics. Okay, quite well recognized across the world. And in the United States, we have this thing, I'll show you, the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. These are two different, very important documents. But what it amounts to, it's kind of like a declaration. Like, this is who we are, and this is why we are, and that's what we're going to do, that's what we're going to be. And then they quickly realized we have to put down definitions, like a mission statement, okay? So the Declaration of Independence, and then there's the Constitution. And it's about creating like a value system, a belief system about this is how things are, this is how things are going to be. Now, if we were in a communist country, for example, Maria, you would be living under a completely different belief system, a completely different set of values, a completely different set of, let's say, dictatorial truth, which is a subjective truth. But what we need here is universal truth, universal laws, fundamental laws that are in alignment with, let's say, heaven, the will of heaven, and the universe, irrefutable laws. And so if you're noticing right now with the astrology, because we're going through huge changes astrologically, and the eclipse is coming up, this point here, 0 degrees Capricorn to Aquarius, 0 degrees from Aquarius to Pisces, these have been real trigger points for major world events, and it's changing people all over the world. A lot of human beings are realizing, I have to change my belief system, my values, my thoughts, my understandings. Like, where am I consuming information? What information am I consuming? How does that affect my thoughts and my belief systems going forward? Have I been fooling myself or tricking myself for a very long time without knowing it? Well, if you look at his expression, imagine him as like Saturn energy. He's not here to harm you. Think of him as a teacher. Like, I want you, dear Maria, to get closer and closer into alignment with universal truths, universal laws. And if you slip and try to sneak around it, you're going to, let's say, it's not going to be much fun because I'm here. Think of this as Saturn energy, the administrator of the test. Saturn will test you. I would say this is very much to do with Saturn and Pisces. Saturn and Pisces, I don't know where that would be in your chart, but all I'm suggesting is it's time to get almost like a harsh reality check with like your visions for the future, your belief systems, your attitudes, the way you were conditioned from childhood, early adulthood, later adulthood, and so on. And take a moment, give yourself freedom over the next few months with the eclipses into, the end of wherever it was, May, in the middle of May, get through that, to reconfigure. Now, nothing's forcing you to do it, but all I'm suggesting here is that if you don't take the opportunity, amazing opportunities that are happening here, you're missing out, okay? Let's have a look here. Now, what's the situation? Okay, so to me, with the Three of Cups here, it makes me feel that you understand what I'm talking about, and you would like to share your own abundance in your own way with others in the like-minded souls. And so that's often what can happen. Like, if you already have a sensation of what I'm talking about here, and you feel that, wow, I am going through an upgrade in terms of my visions, my mission statement for me, my life. So I don't have to be a victim anymore. I can take charge. I can live in universal truth, and I can understand when things don't work out my way. It's nothing personal. You're just dealing with life, okay? And once you get to that point, it's like reaching a sense of maturity where you start to realize nobody can steal my happiness. You might feel unhappy. You might feel sad. You might feel as though like there's so many bad things in the world, so many failures, losses, pain, damage, suffering, death, poverty, all sorts of horrible, horrible things. But it is still possible to choose to be happy from the inside out, from the heart center outwards. And once you realize that, you start to think, oh my God, am I a freak? No, 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 Maria, you're with us. You're hanging out here with people who've also kind of figured out or are figuring out the same thing. That it is possible to operate at higher frequencies in such a way that you can celebrate life with your loved ones, your closest, your nearest and dearest, but also at a universal scale, like with us here. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to share your love, to share your happiness, to share your abundance on the others, on the understanding that we're not talking about happiness in terms of thrills or dopamine or what's the other one? Endorphins. I'm talking about deep, deep sense of contentment. Not adrenaline. I'm talking about deep contentment. That you are at a point in life right now where you understand what I'm talking about here, because this never stops. But you're at a point now where you have a degree of abundance that you can share with like-minded souls. Okay? Even if you might be really terribly broken hearted about something, there's still a reason to be happy. Okay, now what's the problems going down here? Okay, love again, cups. Okay, there might be a deep fear that there might be a certain style or mode or format in terms of the expectation of love that is due to you externally, perhaps from others or from a singular other person. Can this be true? This is a card of sacred opportunity here, and it's there if you want it. Okay, now remember, it's in a challenging position, so you might feel as though you have a lot of love to offer, but are you being denied the equivalent in return? Is it possible? Are your levels of expectation too high that it's impossible? And like in some ways this could almost be, if you want to, I don't want to like put any serious downward pressure on this, but it's such a pure, delicious, rich, powerful card in its own right. But if you feel that you're not ready, willing, or able, or worthy, or deserving, or open to receive love, then that's like choking yourself off from being able to receive it, which means it's choking yourself off to be able to share it. And that can be triggered by fear. And this is totally under your control. And it's almost like a pulse, like an emotional pulse, like on, off, like I am loving, I am loved. I am loving, I am loved. It's a very, very simple formula, but simple is not easy. The other thing that I often say is like, be loving, be loved. The question is, how do you define love? Okay? You might be realizing that there's new definitions of love, new concepts, new understandings of love, and how it actually operates as an energy field in your life. Okay? So, let's move on. It might be almost like a bit of a shock, like, wow, I do have so much. I am very loving. I am loved in my own way, but expectations and belief systems might have left you confused or expecting and then not receiving in the way that you might have expected. And then that means you have to recalibrate. Oh, what does it really mean? Okay, let's have a look. How do we deal with this? So, liberation here, like liberty, liberation, freedom, the call of freedom. If there is something, it's not showing here, but if you are, let's say, trapped in a belief system, in a thought process, or in a state of conditioning that feels like it might be an invisible choke collar, and you're starting to realize, like, wow, I am my own worst enemy. I've been my own worst enemy all the time, and I didn't even know it. Now I'm realizing, damn it, didn't have to be that way. So what do you do with that? You liberate yourself. You openly declare, it's time to declare openly, I am free. I am a free spirit. I am me. I have the right to be me. I now liberate myself from all the shackles of my redundant, obsolete belief systems and values systems and understandings about love. Love. Okay? And by doing so, you release yourself. It's like releasing the karma, like necessary, the karma card here. And declaring, for example, here's what I would recommend. Just recite this to yourself when you get bored or you've got a free moment. Put it on a post-it note. Stick it in the window of your car or on your refrigerator. It's a little tiny thing. You can squish it all on one little post-it note if you want to. This is what I would recommend. And then you recite it to yourself openly, out loud, preferably in private, because it feels good that way. I am worthy. I am deserving. I am open to receive. I am ready. I am willing. I am able to receive love. The healing power of love, specifically. I'm going to show off the cover art for the book that I've never yet finished. I don't know if I'll ever finish it. It's a little book about the healing power of love. And I discovered a lot of things about love through my illness. Okay? So all I'm suggesting is that the way forward is it's like a declaration. Like, I, Maria, now officially declare that I am going to rewrite my belief systems, my value systems, my understandings, my own mission statement. I'm going to create my own new constitution based on my new understandings that I've been learning recently from you guys, everybody else, about what love really is. So I don't end up sabotaging myself. And in doing all of that, I liberate myself. I become free. Completely and utterly free. And nobody can take it from you. So in other words, it's almost like you're doing your own thing. You're making your own declaration of independence, freedom from tyranny, the tyranny of thought, erroneous thought, and you're creating a constitution, which would be like the Ten Commandments or the United States Constitution, which is like a mission statement about this is how we do it. This is how we do things, okay? That's the Constitution over here, okay? It's all written out, okay? Maria, I hope this helps you. Thank you so much. Next up, Necessary Truth. Thank you very much. I've got to shuffle. Necessary Truth. Thank you very much. Ooh, look at that. Look at that over there on the chat from Necessary. Vision statement first. Your vision becomes your mission. Wow, I've never heard that one before. I have to say, that's fantastic. Your vision becomes your mission. Oh, that's fantastic. Who was it the other day who was talking about vision boards? I can't remember. Vision boards. I wrote a vision board out in early 2015. I was doing it during my fairly early days in my advanced yoga training and certification processes. And pretty much everything on the vision board came into manifestation. And I used that vision board. I kept it right in front of me. I used that as a reference point for years. And then it just got all kind of beat up and dusty because it got covered in notes and post-it notes. And then eventually I just threw it away. But yay. Okay, so we're calling in John. All right, John. John, you're on. All right, let's shuffle up, folks. Let's see. What kind of messages do we have here tonight for necessary truth from our reading, including valuable assistance from John? Excellent, Maria. Excellent, excellent, excellent. What's that? Go to Home Depot? What are you talking about? What's that? Huh? Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh, dear necessary truth, I just got a nudge from John. John is in perfect shape, perfect condition. And he gave me a little nudge on my shoulder, my left shoulder. He said, I'm just going to tell you, sometimes we get these interactions. I can't help it, but this is how it is. He's very much present. Okay, I want you to know that necessary truth. He's very, very present here right now. I got my own panoply of invisible friends, and I've got my guardian angels and everything. And right now we're just doing a live show, and so everything's very active in the great beyond. And I felt his presence over on my left shoulder, sort of in the background. He was basically saying, listen, Tio, tonight, just pretend I'm not here, okay? Just pretend I'm not here. I am here, and the reading will be influenced, but just go for it. Just pretend I'm not, okay? I'm just so necessary truth. I'm just sharing that with you so that you understand the feel behind the reading that's just about here, all right? Wow, this is so cool. I've never had an interaction quite like that one. Amazing. All right, so what kind of messages do we have here for necessary truth? So bringing in all the guides and everything, but specifically John. But John has asked, just pretend I'm not here. Just pretend I'm not here. My energy's here, but just pretend I'm not, okay? Here we go. Let's have a look. I'm cutting it up. It doesn't look it from where you are, but I like to do a lot of variety in the way I cut the deck. Different widths. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Let's have a look at some external influences. Again, very likely, very possible, I will default to the planets. Let's have a look. Okay, we've got Mr. Hermit card here. And please don't be scared. For some reason, a lot of people get scared of this card. I think it would be very helpful tonight if any one of you has your own little one-liner interpretation of the Hermit for necessary truth tonight. I've got my own impressions here tonight right now, and I will share them. I'm focusing on the Saturn vibes again, and my feeling is that the Saturn vibe is very, very strong because it's only in 1 or 2 degrees. So wherever this lies in your chart, dear necessary truth, I feel that there's a lot of pressure there. Okay? And it's Saturn type pressure. And Saturn energy, as you know, is kind of like the planet of karma, the planet of testing, the planet of rewards for having done well, okay? And sometimes it's not fun. A lot of times people don't want to be tested. They don't want to learn and grow. And so they try and avoid it. They try to squirm out of the amazing opportunity to grow and evolve. And when you get it in the 0 to 1, 2, 3 degree mark, the energy can be very raw, really, really raw. So when you put Saturn in Pisces at 2 or 3 degrees, it can indicate that you might be tested in the most extreme levels of your, let's just say perhaps mediumship, or your capacity for compassion, your capacity to be very, very disciplined with how you carry this energy of Pisces that's actually extremely difficult to manage. The obvious example would be deceiving the self, being your own worst enemy, and doing an outstanding job of convincing yourself that something fundamentally fundamentally unhealthy for you is actually okay. And the brain is very, very good at overriding the heart. And in this situation, the Pisces energy is very much about the intangibles of Neptune, like the wonder, the beauty of universal love, unconditional love. And of course, the unhealthy aspect of that is all the sickness, depravity, betrayal, lies, deception, fraud, abuse, victimhood, disgusting, horrible things that human beings are capable of. Now, that's not you, okay? Okay? So, to me it feels like you're being tested, and if there was a way to do this and pass the test by using ChatGPT or outsourcing it, a lot of people would, because it's a lot of pressure, okay? Especially at the frequencies at which you operate. The Pisces frequencies are very, very high, okay, by definition. And the thing is about the Hermit, you can't outsource this to anybody else. You can't, like, let's pretend you're a school kid in an exam. You can't cheat. You can't take anyone's paper and then reassign it as yours. You can't take the paper, the tests home and then do the research, enter all the answers and then take it back. You're being tested on your own, and it's your journey. No one else can do it for you. No one else can live your life for you. And this is a period of testing. And you will be tested, and in so doing you will evolve and grow, but you're heading in directions, because you're being tested, it's almost like you're being groomed for higher levels, higher frequencies of operation down the road. It's a slow process, but you can handle it. No point in trying to avoid it, because it will just come back at you, back at you, back at you. All right, what's the situation itself? Okay. So with the Six of Swords here, my feeling is that if you want to treat this as an intellectual exercise, I think it's much more to do with the soul and the spirit. But if you come at it as if it's an intellectual exercise, in other words, let's say you just, let's say, you got the moon things. We got a full moon coming up, for example. And then 2 weeks later, we got a new moon Aries eclipse. And then 2 weeks later, we've got the Taurus Scorpio thingy eclipse going on. And a lot of people, of course, myself included, live a lot of their life experiences from the neck upwards as an intellectual sensory experience through your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, your voice, your thoughts, your intelligence, your communications, and so on. And operating at that level, at the biological level, there might be a temptation where, like, man, my life could actually be better if I streamlined things and just dumped a lot of unnecessary attitudes, belief systems, redundant concepts, redundant relationship dynamics, redundant activities, but mostly attitudes, and streamline so that you have more freedom, so that you only live with the essentials, the bare essentials of what you need. Obviously, you want a good life. It would be great to have shelter, proper shelter, abundance, comfort, the essentials that a lot of Americans take for granted, like hot and cold running water indoors, indoor plumbing, electricity, your internet, and all of that. Take all of that for granted, but simplify and streamline in such a way, and just get rid of anything and everything that is fluff. You might be, I'm not saying to do that. What I'm suggesting here is that you might be going through a phase of considering that. Like, you might be under pressure. Like, imagine this is Saturn, and Saturn is pressuring you, testing you, like basically saying, okay, dear necessary truth, here you are at this point in life. Like, what do you really need? What are you really here for? What are you doing? Why? Why are you doing it? You've got certain ways of living, and fine, and so on. But are you carrying unnecessary baggage, unnecessary clutter, psychological clutter that you don't really need? Because if you are, this would be an excellent opportunity to jettison anything that's irrelevant. Just toss it. Like going through the kitchen drawers of life. If you think of the Pisces, Neptune, 12th house energy, you could almost think of it as the kitchen drawer, the dumpster, the trash can of life over here. That's this section here, the 12th house. It might be an excellent time to look at the kitchen drawer of your life. It sounds expansive, but I mean, everybody has a kitchen drawer for their life. And it's just an analogy I'm using, but it's usually crammed full of stuff that, like, I don't know what to do with it for now. I'll just leave. I'll stick it in the kitchen drawer, like a note for something, or a certain gadget that, I'll clean it up later, or whatever it is, or everybody has their own understanding, but the kitchen drawer is sort of like the little miniature indoor dumpster, trash can, or whatever, where we put things before we actually get rid of them. What I'm suggesting here is, the feeling to me is that it's time to go through the kitchen drawer and literally rip out and pull out anything and everything that is literally redundant. Now, let's have a look. What's the problem here? Happiness. Happiness at the very, very, very core. And again, this is really simple stuff in some ways. These are major arcana here. So with the Sun card, it's an indication that, dear necessary truth, you are happy to a certain degree, and that's a decision, it's a choice, and you are pretty good at it as your default setting. But there's always more. And it sounds like I'm talking about like drug addicts or something like that, but the more you have, the more you want. And the more happiness you want, the more happiness you have, the more happiness you want. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because you deserve it. A lot of people create misery in their lives, and then that compounds, and misery creates more misery. Love Driver was telling me a story about someone that she sort of knows, and I don't know the person, but it seems to me that person made a lot of executive decisions in their life in order to take shortcuts in life, in order to avoid Saturn-type lessons and learning, and they are suffering the consequences, where, guess what? This is what happens when you deliberately try to avoid the responsibilities of life, avoid the responsibility of you being your most awesome self. Now, I'm not applying that to you directly, but all I'm suggesting here is that there is kind of a formula. And if there is something about your life and your world where you are dissatisfied, where you can look honestly in the mirror and say to yourself, you know, I am truly, truly blessed. I do have so much. And I am so fundamentally happy in so many ways. But whenever you hear the word but, that's when you start listening. Because that's where you have to pay attention. But there might be this issue, this concern, that does not live up to your standards of happiness. And that's where the problem lies for you. And you're starting to go through this process of discernment. Like, for example, the moon is in Virgo right now. The energy of discernment. Virgo is all about discernment, pruning, and going into great detail about what is worthy and what's not worthy, what's cleaning up. So it's very much about cleaning up the kitchen drawer. And what you can find is that it's not that you're unhappy. It's just that the amount of happiness and joy and love that you can feel and deserve and enjoy in your life, it's not because it's out there and it needs to be grabbed and it's being denied to you. It's more that it's actually all there already. It's just that it is obscured and cluttered by, let's say, unnecessary dead weight in the kitchen drawer of life. And it just basically clean it all. It's like doing a spring cleaning, okay? Now, I don't know how to deal with it here, but whatever you might sense as a lack of happiness is more to do with, it's just like the sun is blocked out by the clutter in the kitchen drawer of life. And you're being tested to figure out how do you define the clutter? Where is the clutter? What is it? It's time to declutter. Anyway, let's go forward here. We're going to deal with this. Ha ha ha. Shall I give you my impressions when I saw the Wheel of Fortune here? This is a beautiful power. Look at these huge cards. So what I sensed here immediately when I saw that, talking about the kitchen drawer analogy, instead of trying to do this in a very sort of orderly, intellectual manner, like, oh God, I think I know what TL's talking about. Oh, the tedious process. Oh, I got to open my kitchen drawer of my life, pull out this, pull out that, and blah, blah, blah. Oh God, it's so tedious. What I was sensing here is just rip the whole thing out and throw it all over the floor, everywhere, so you have a spectacular view of anything and everything that was filling up the kitchen drawer of your life. Hint, hint, Saturn in Pisces, 12th house Neptune vibes, okay? All the unhealthy stuff. You've got to reveal it to heal it, and this is the best way to do it. Leave it totally up to chance. Don't put layers of expectation on what you expect to get once the kitchen drawer is all sort of cleared out. Instead, this looks like, screw it, I'm just going to frickin' dump it. Perhaps make a big ceremony out of it. If you could itemize the things in your life that would translate into the kitchen drawer stuff that you don't need, just throw it all out there, anything and everything. Stick Post-it notes on the bathroom mirror. Write something on your hand. Oh my God, I don't read. Why do I keep holding on to this, and this, and this? If you try to do it by getting very, okay, I'm going to try and do some acting now. Okay, if you do it this way, if you say like, oh, pretend this Sharpie here is the kitchen drawer of my life, and you're really like, oh my God, I got to open it up and look what's inside. Oh, no, I don't want that. All I'm saying here is like, do this and throw it all out there for you to see in its full splendor. Okay? Like spontaneous art. You know, like one of those splatter paintings from what's his name? Who was that famous American painter who just did splatter paintings, and that's how he made his history. You see, because the clutter comes in all shapes and forms, earth, air, fire, water, every aspect of the astrology, every nook and cranny of your life, there's going to be some kind of unnecessary clutter. Ooh, I'd love to do a declutter right now on this one. Oh, look who just showed up. I found out something, by the way, on my, because it takes me, a while to set up to do all the show and everything. And I found something on my settings for when I prepare to do a live show that might enable me to remove unwelcome folks like right now. Anyway, dear Necessary Truth, I hope that reading made sense to you. John just did one of these on my shoulder. To me, it makes me feel like, thank you, John, thank you. He just said, listen, man, I couldn't have said it better myself. Okay, thank you very much. So thank you, John. Thank you, Necessary Truth. We're going to put all this stuff back together. Let's have a look here. And then we are going to read for Tina. Alrighty. Thank you, Necessary Truth. Seriously, thank you. Yeah, I think it's some kind of bot. Some kind of ridiculous algorithm bot. Oh, God. Well, somebody's obviously listening. Jackson Pollock. That's the one. Thank you. I thought Paula was part of the bot, because they always show up together. Oh my God. I'm sorry, Pat. It sounds like you're working overtime. Just delete. Anyway, let's keep going. Tina, you're up. It sounded like from the little snippets that I saw in the chat that there's still a lot that's up in the air right now. Jobs, money, real estate, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what's going on. What kind of messages do we have here for Tina tonight regarding her life, her world, and her beautiful animals? Everything. Let's have a look here. Okay, dear invisible friends, let's gather close by. Let's find some messages that we have here for Tina tonight. Let's have a look. Cards are well shuffled. Let's go for it. Here we go. Alrighty. Nice break there. Here's the situation. Here's some challenges. Here's how we're going to deal with things. Okie dokie. Again, I'm just using my good old situational spread. I'm so proud of my spreads. I love my spreads. I only use like 3, maybe 4 something, 5 sometimes. Anyway, let's have a look. Queen of Pentacles. Oh, I'm so happy for you, Tina. You might not feel it right now, but the Queen of Pentacles, I think, to me, this makes me feel like it's a reminder. The Queen of Pentacles is not a silver spoon baby. The Queen of Pentacles rose to this position perhaps over generations, over lifetimes, in terms of understanding the principles of matter, the life and the world, the organic side of the world, like plants, trees, how life is, how life works, and how it manifests in matter. And Pentacles, she's holding a massive Ace of Pentacles there. And the question is what to do with it, because it's a huge responsibility, okay? Handling and managing money, and how to do it properly and with vigilance, proper custody, for the needs of the short term, but also for long-term survival, okay? So to me, this is a reminder that, dear Tina, please do not forget that you have a lot of the sensibilities and aura qualities and characteristics of the Queen of Pentacles. Otherwise, you would not be in the situation where you are right now. Now, even if things are up in the air, the Queen of Pentacles can handle it because she has a certain degree of, let's say, what's the word I'm looking for? She is a woman of substance, and she is a woman of, let's say, capabilities and the ability to endure hardship, knowing that these are just episodes and chapters, okay? Now that might be relating to the eclipses, okay? I'm going to bring up the subject of the eclipses because they are heading our way. And as you know, this one's a little odd, but the big ones that I'm concerned about, of course, are about the money. Money, your money and other people's money. The Taurus-Scorpio axis will be lit up on the 5th of May. It is a full moon. So you might, as an eclipse, you might notice as you're getting towards this time period that certain things regarding your material financial world, houses, monies, all of that stuff, jobs and everything, is coming to some kind of head where there's going to be hopefully a lot more clarity. The eclipses will bring things into the full light, full clarity, and whatever's not necessary will be eclipsed away, and the evolutionary gateway will take you to where the next stage of life unfolds for you. So in the meantime, it's just a matter of vigilance, taking care of yourself, looking after your resources in a very, very, let's say, conscientious way. Okay, let's have a look. What's the situation? Let's see. Okay, again, I think this is very much to do with the eclipses. This is the Death card. This is the card of transformation. You could say out with the old, in with the new. You could say the death of the old to usher in the birth of the new. Okay, remember, okay, people are terrified of this card. And instead of understanding that it is about growth and evolution and certain things, again, with the Death card, we can often think of the caterpillar, the cocoon, and the butterfly. Caterpillar cannot become the butterfly until it goes through the cocoon stage. And it is a form of transformation. You know, as a little child, it's almost impossible to believe that a little caterpillar can turn into a butterfly. And I remember I was like stunned and shocked when my elders showed me what actually happens. So effectively, the little caterpillar has to die in order to be reborn. But of course it doesn't die because it's still actually the same creature. Just there's one form and then there's another form, the caterpillar and the butterfly. And that's what the death card is about in some ways. But people are so terrified of death, they're so terrified of transformation, people don't like to change. People are terrified of change. Some people are so terrified of change that they will shackle themselves to, let's say, pre-eclipse energy and refuse to evolve, that they actually end up crippling themselves. Pointless. It's much better to embrace it. All these people here, they're terrified, like, oh no, 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 I don't want anything bad to happen to me. That means I have to change. Oh, I feel like I'm dying. I'm going to lose everything. No. Even this Bishop Pope here, who should know better, is just like, please, 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 please don't come after me. I'm a very superior being. And of course, there he is, like, excuse me, nobody is exempt, not even you. So just get used to it, because over there, I don't know if it'll show up on this show, on this camera. Will it show up? You have to look at it very carefully. There is the new horizon. And, oh, I don't know, it's not showing. Damn it, why not? There it is. Look, 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 look. Okay, way over there in the distance. That's the other side coming out of the cocoon. All right, let's see. What are the problems here? Okay, so Tini, you might be feeling a little bit less than. Because let's just look at it this way. You are, let's say, a woman of substance, okay? This is the Empress card. This is very much about girl power, beauty, abundance, wealth, and money, okay? In abundance, having it all. Having so much abundance that it can be shared almost to infinity. And you are very generous by nature, Tina. And you're also very compassionate and empathic by nature. You can't help yourself. But this to me represents doubt. Like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That could be the doubt. That's, in other words, this could be your version of like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? How am I going to make it to the other side? Oh, I don't know, I don't know. And that's perfectly understandable, okay? Because you have so much in terms of abundance, internal. I'm talking especially internal, which allows you to share it externally. And you have been very generous. And you might be questioning yourself. Oh my God. That's understandable, but again, that's a fear. Okay, the Venus little mark is here. I don't know if you've seen that one there, but anyway, it's there. That's very much to do with money. All right, so how are we going to deal with this going forward? Now, this doesn't show any mountains, but it does show those pine trees, and I think you're going to be up somewhere near pine trees, aren't you? Let's have a look. Let's have a look over here. How are we going to deal with this? Okay. I think we might have had one of these before with you recently in a reading. The Ten of Wands is that it is, I mean, you've been on a very challenging, laborious journey over the last, I would say, 2 years, 2.5 years. You've been through so much, like all these big relocations, intense pressure from family, and all of that stuff. Things going on with the dogs, all of that stuff. And now you're over here at the very early stages of this new life. New Mexico, new world, new location, but sort of having done a loop to get back to where you are. But the journey's not over. Obviously, you can see here. But if you look at that as your home is your castle over there, it's still there. You're going to be okay. And you might be under a lot of pressure to keep it up. But you will. The thing is, by the time this is all sorted out, you're going to need a serious break. Okay? Alicia Harris. Okay, so hold on. Right. Oh God. Oh no. All right, Tina. So I hope this makes sense to you, Tina. It's like, I think you understand perfectly well what's going on, and we're not at the point of resolution yet. But we are heading there, and I don't know how you do it. You have a tremendous, you are a woman of substance. You have tremendous strength, willpower, the will to live, the ability to deal with intense pressures in ways that a lot of people can't, and that's what allows you to, I guess, be so compassionate and so generous to others, because you have that. You have that, and which means you have that ability, you have that at your disposal to share. But eventually, what I'm hoping here, you see the positive out of the Ten of Wands, is that you're going to be fine, you're going to get there, and when that happens, you can put down all the stressors, and you're going to give yourself a break, and you're going to have some fun. Remember, the Wands are very much about passion, drive, imagination, going forward in life, the will to live. Okay? You're having to summon everything you've got right now to keep it going. All right? You're going to be okay. Thank you, Tina. All right, so listen, actually, Alicia, I have to tell you, I was reading through my notes today. I do lists all day long. I do lists, and then I do another list from another list. And your name was on there several times. I was thinking, like, how the hell am I going to sort this out with Alicia? So I'm just going to do it, okay? So I'm going to make another post-it note, but that is it, okay? No more readings tonight. Do not put any money in the super chat. If you want to contribute, Alicia, you got to do it through here. Okay, I think you did put something in a while back. I can't even remember. But anyway, you're going to get your little mini reading now. Thank you, Path, for doing some damage control there for me, helping me to get through this. But I think, honestly, I owe Alicia her reading, because I said I would. Okay? Now, Alicia, every reading I've done tonight is a complete blind reading. I prefer to do blind readings, then there's no preconceptions. And sometimes you get to experience things that you didn't even know you needed to know. So that's what I'm suggesting. If you do have a very, very specific issue, and you can put it into one word or maybe two words, feel free to type it in the screen as fast as you can, because we're going to get on with your reading any moment now. And I have to shuffle. So while I'm shuffling, if you want to deal with something very specific, but TL, if it was the end, it would be okay. Okay. Anyway, Vegas, baby. That's what I was going to say at the very end. So, Alicia, I'm gonna do a blind reading for you, unless you specifically put one or two words on the screen. Don't put a long question or what about this or what about that. Just maybe one word. If I don't see it, or if you want to, I'll just gonna go for a blind reading. But in the meantime, we have to shuffle up. Thank you, Path Traveler. I really appreciate the assistance, because sometimes I get carried away with readings and then I regret it because I get really burned out. Okay? And I can't do that anymore. I can't afford to do it. My body can't take it. My brain, body, mind, heart, and soul can't take it anymore. I used to literally burn myself out years ago on this channel, but those days are gone. I have to live to read another day, you know? All right, here we go. Let's have a look. All right, here we go. Now this is it. Last reading tonight, okay? No super chats, nothing, no more donations, nothing. We're fine. We're just going to go ahead. All right, here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things, okay? Diagnostics. We're just doing a diagnostics, okay? All right, Alicia, let's see what happens here. Anything's possible, but I usually default to the planets. We'll see. So I've got the Two of Swords here. The Moon is in Virgo right now. It just came out of Leo, and it's heading into across Virgo, and it's going to be the full moon in a couple of days. And that's going to be an incredible time for me personally, because I'm going to be watching the speech regarding Donald Tuesday night. Anyway, with the Two of Swords here, my feeling for you, Alicia, is that you might be, let's say, becoming more and more and more aware of, I would say, energy fields, psychic abilities, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairsmelience. And for a lot of people, this can be a problem. I'm not saying it's a problem for you, but if you are at a point right now, I'm getting two feelings from the card, but the dominant feeling I'm getting from it right now is that, like it or not, you are, I could almost say that it feels to me like you're being elevated up to a higher frequency of operation, almost as though like, whoa, wait, what's happening in my life? And this can happen with people. I want to do a little bit of connecting directly, okay? So Alicia, sometimes what can happen is, what's his name? James Edward? John Edward. Do you know the psychic John Edward? He's a famous celebrity psychic from a few years ago. And there's all sorts of them out there. And they usually, some of them, the really famous, successful ones, they usually have a book, like who I am, where I come from, and how I became a psychic and all of that. And some of them, like James von Prague, Sylvia Brown, some of them are aware very, very early in life that they're not normal. Some, the experience, the awakenings start to happen later in life. But sometimes, typically, it can be extremely, let's just say you're Alicia Harris, you're living your life, and then you're starting to get these wobbles, wait, what was that? And you can almost feel like you're getting dizzy or you're going insane. There's something, you're not quite sure what's going on. And you could say, oh, it's the pituitary gland is opening up and becoming more attuned, more sensitive to higher realms, above and beyond three-dimensional reality. In other words, 3 dimensions of your sensory system: eyes, nose, ears, mouth, taste, touch. Okay? There's things like intuition, and the pituitary is right there at the very, very core of your brain, and it's like a small eyeball, and it has almost identical structure to an eyeball, but it resonates to different frequencies. It doesn't operate with the visual spectrum the electromagnetic spectrum that we correlate with eyesight, like blue, red, yellow, pink, and seeing the screen and seeing the laptops and everything, the pituitary resonates to frequencies that are outside the visual spectrum. And people who have, let's say, supreme psychic abilities, probably, I can't prove it, but they probably have a highly functional pituitary gland, because that's where the information comes in. It's like a transmitter and a receiver, just like a smartphone. Okay? You can transmit and receive energy. You can transmit the healing power of love. It's a decision, and you activate that. You can receive the healing power of love. Okay? Anyway, what I'm suggesting is if you might be in a situation where psychic phenomenon or clairvoyance, all these kinds of things are starting to either become a nuisance in your life or become apparent, and the question is, what am I supposed to do with all of that? You know? Some people get very frightened, they get disoriented, like, go away, I don't want to know, I don't want to know. I'm seeing things, I'm smelling things, I must be going insane, all that kind of stuff. Okay, now I got a second little note here. Now this is going to sound like a different version of the same thing that I mentioned. With the Two of Swords here, it might be that you're at a kind of crossroads in life where you're realizing that you need to become more aware about the things that I've just described. You know that it's inside of you, and you know that it's there waiting for you, and this is the time. It's time to become fluent, or let's say more fluent in your spirituality, your psychic abilities, your abilities to attract the information, clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, the mediumship, whatever it is that you need to know. You just call it intuition. Maybe you are simply right now sensing that there are things out there that you don't understand, but they are starting to come to you. You can feel it, and then clarity will appear at some point. Let's have a look. What's the situation itself? We've had a repeat card here. Okay, so it might be that, let's go back to the first storyline where you might be, let's say, opening up to psychic phenomenon or things like that, or you might be starting to delve into those kinds of books and studies and research and meditation. Meditation, for example, sometimes people, when they take up meditation and yoga and things like that, they find that their spirit expands in ways that they couldn't have ever thought or expected, no matter how many books you read. And it can be sometimes quite terrifying. And then you realize, oh my God, is anyone else dealing with this stuff? Is it just me? Am I going insane? Am I going on some crazy, weird journey that I didn't ask for? You know, like, is anybody there? Does anybody understand me? Am I the nut? Am I the crackpot here? But again, like we were talking about earlier, this is not something that you can outsource. It's part of your life journey, and you have to understand. I think it was Path Traveler who used that analogy. You have to create your own light. You have to become your own guiding light. And sometimes it's really difficult to learn that because it means you're on your own. And the only way you can learn that is to kind of literally like close your eyes and trust your intuition. And that's very scary. A lot of people don't want to do that. It's like with remote viewing. Seeing things like you don't know, like with mediumship. Or sometimes mediumship comes to people unexpectedly, and they start seeing things, hearing things, feeling things, and it's very disorienting to their day-to-day life. And then they have to create order and put some kind of studious, diligent work together in their life, their world, to put some order to it, to the insanity and all the crazy stuff that comes with the expansion of your spirit and consciousness. No one else can do it. You can get outside assistance. I used to help people go through this kind of stuff because sometimes it can be disorienting and bumpy, but ultimately it's your journey and yours alone, where you ultimately become your own guiding light and you have to trust your intuition. What's the problem here? Okay, so this is a very blunt, direct card. I don't think this has anything to do with a relationship. To me, it makes me feel as though you might be scared of who you are and who you are becoming, and you are, let's say, either perhaps very comfortable with who you are, or you have a very defined understanding of who you are, how things are, and why they are the way they are in the world, in your world, and it is so specific that you are chained and bound to those concepts, belief systems, understandings, ways of life. And yet, you know that change is inevitable here as you open up. And in order to change and evolve and grow, it means having to unshackle yourself from the limitations and the fear that is holding you back. Okay? And again, no one else can do that but you. You can get, we could do a really in-depth private reading, and that would take time, extended period of time and all that kind of stuff. But for the time being, if you're terrified of letting go of your life as you know it, perhaps you're very, very... Some people associate this with addiction. You might be very tied, addicted to something or someone or a mode of existence or a relationship or a job or a location, a way of life that you know deep down is unhealthy and unsuitable for you. But the fear of letting go, because it means fear of the unknown. Because once you deliberately unshackle yourself, you're going to face the unknown. And some people are so terrified of the unknown that they will choose to remain shackled in the known world, which is the lower frequency, three-dimensional existence that you have already. So what do? Aha! We face the facts. Nothing but the facts, man. The truth. The truth shall set you free. If any of this reading here has resonated with you in any way, and you say to yourself, for example, oh my God, I think I know what he's talking about. Oh, damn! Damn, damn, damn! Ouch, ouch, ouch! The way forward is to basically admit it. Perhaps we have uncovered something here, Alicia, that maybe your friends or family wouldn't tell you, or you wouldn't even tell yourself. But it's, to me, I'm hoping this reading sort of opens things up for you so you can have a moment of clarity, stark, dazzling clarity about how things really are for you right now, and that there's no going back. I mean, the reality is that there is a higher frequency, higher operational world out there for you. That is yours for the opportunity. And it's full of like new wonders, new light. With the swords energy, this is very cerebral and it could be like the expansion of your consciousness is there, ready, willing, and available to you. But you have to take it. You have to grab it. It's a card of sacred opportunity. This is a tremendous gift, a tremendous opportunity for you. But it will vaporize if you choose to remain shackled. If you choose not to take this. The thing is, to accept this opportunity, to take it, means having to unshackle yourself to get from here to here. Because you can't get from here to here without unshackling yourself. I hope this made sense, Alicia. That's your mini reading. Take care. I think you got my email over here, a little book about it, yahoo.com. If you don't want to share anything on the screen here, I fully understand. If you want to, you can get back to me personally and we can go from there. Alrighty? Thank you, everybody. No more readings tonight. Alright, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to hang out for a little bit. Say goodnight to everybody. And then I'm going to put on a piece of music and let that roll. And I'm going to watch the other side of the transmission, which is what the public sees. And once I know officially that the show is over, then I will stop the transmission from here. Okay? So again, I'm learning. I never knew any of this until tonight. I'm just clearing the deck. It's been a busy night with the cards. Thank you, dear, wonderful, blessed cards. It's been a pleasure to work with you. All right, there we go. Let's check in over here. All right, so I hope I didn't scare you, Alicia. Everything's, it's a mini reading. I was just giving you my impressions, okay? And the story unfolds. Now, it's up to you how you interpret it or reinterpret it. They're your cards, they're your reading. You might feel it's a little bit off, but we might have touched a nerve. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here, listening to my stories and sharing from earlier in the reading. I'm going to wrap it up now. There's probably only a few of us here right now anyway. And let's see, tonight is late Sunday night. So tomorrow, Monday, I'm going to be paying very close attention to global media, global world news over the next few days. In fact, I do it every day, but I'm paying extra special attention to global financial aspects because of the eclipses and everything that's happening in global finances right now, which is basically massive upheaval. I'm also going to pay close attention to the outrageous farce that is going on with DT over in New York right now with his arraignment. DT is going to give a speech on Sunday night. I think it's Eastern Time, 8:15 p.m. So that means 5:15 p.m. for me. I'm hoping to catch it live. He'll probably be doing it on Truth Social, which is his favorite platform now. Thank you, Alicia. Oh, I see you. Hello, Alicia. It says thank you so much. My pleasure, Alicia. So we're clear. Okay, you got your reading. Thank you very, very much. I'm going to put on a little bit of... No, wait a minute. How am I going to do this? I got to figure out how to do this. Nope. I am going to put on a little bit of a Tarot Lumination song, I think. Trust. A song about trust. What about a song about trust? I could play I Surrender. I'm going to put I Am Guided, I Am Protected. Here we go. I'm going to play my song I Am Guided, I Am Protected. It's like 2.5 minutes. And that will for sure ensure that the YouTube video that you see includes the very, very ending of your reading. Okay, Alicia? Here we go. Let's see how this works. Yeah. Is it working?
I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected. When the light of hope it fades, when all faith is blown away, when all sense of trust goes down, when a smile turns into frown, when it feels there's no relief, nothing in which to believe, desperate in woe and grief, angels come reminding me, I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected. Angels gather close to me, show me what I cannot see. Angels take me by the hand, lift me when I cannot stand. Angels lead me through the dark, soothe and tend a broken heart, laughing at the circumstance, crying while we sing and dance. I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected.
Okay, good night, everybody. It's been wonderful. Thank you for being here. Oh, I'm sorry, Amber. I'm just wrapping up the show. Please, can you visit next Sunday? Come 2 hours earlier, okay? I'm stopping the stream now officially.